What's going on, everyone? So we're all anxiously waiting around for that second Scream 7 trailer. There were three trailers that ended up getting rated, so very likely there's two more trailers on the horizon. Obviously, we got that first one right in time for spooky season, right in time for Halloween, and a lot of the same people that said it was going to be out in October are saying, hey, we're getting a second one in December. Kind of makes sense, right? If you are going to have two more trailers, you do one in December and then one in late January, kind of the last month leading into the film's release in February. So if you were going to get a trailer, I think it kind of makes sense. But again, like I always say, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't get your hopes up. Right? I get it. It's easy to kind of get lost in the refresh because you're waiting around for the trailer and stuff like that. If it was to come out, it wouldn't come out till tomorrow because this video is posted on Wednesday. So Thursday, the 11th. But again, depending on when you're watching this, may have already came, may have already went. So again, if it comes out, beautiful. We'll all be excited. We'll talk about it. We'll break it down. We'll do all that fun stuff. But if it doesn't, just again, don't get your hopes up. Right? I think if it comes out, my guess is probably the 18th, which would be next week, right? Because I just think that makes sense. Now, again, I don't know. I'm not an insider. I don't have the scoop or anything like that. I'm just looking at, like, if you release it on the 18th, it's like, here's an early Christmas present. Here you go, everybody, right? Like, I don't think they're going to release it on Christmas. So I think it's either this week or next week. I think next week kind of makes a little more sense because it's like the middle of the month. Then you're leading into Christmas and New Year's, and then, into January, and then late January, a month out from the film is when we get the third trailer type thing. That's kind of what I think. So basically you get a month and a half before you get the next trailer type thing. That would probably be my guess. I mean, you could make the argument that it would come out tomorrow because of the same thing, give you an extra week, so it doesn't feel like as quick of a turnaround, right? And you kind of argue like it came out in basically into December or end of October into December, so you basically got a month and some change in between. Maybe they kind of do the same thing. Maybe you get kind of like early December, and then you get the end of January type thing, so you basically get like a month in between type thing, or a month and a couple weeks in between. But regardless, whatever they decide to do, again, when it comes out, I'll be excited. We know that there's going to be another trailer. We're very likely going to be another trailer at some point. I mean, I don't think that they rated those trailers to not release them, right? But the reason I'm even mentioning this is because Jude, who many of you are familiar with, talked about some stuff that could potentially we could see in the trailer. So according to Jude, if the second Scream 7 trailer drops this week, here's what it should be serving. First official look at Matthew Lillard as Stu Macher. Put it in quotes, right? Because we don't know if he's alive, dead, AI, whatever. More Sydney and Gale, and then a first glimpse at Anna Camp and the new supporting cast. So again, he says, here's what it should be serving. I don't necessarily think he's saying that this is what will be in the trailer, right? So I just want to clarify that. I don't he says it should be, which, I mean, you could take that either way, where, he's relaying it like, hey, there should be this in the trailer, or you could take it as like, I think there should be. So again, I just take it how you may. I don't know if he's necessarily saying like, because just the way that it's typed is, here's what it should be serving. I think you could take it either way, but he's somebody that gives you information about the trailers and films, stuff like that. So you could take it as like, hey, we should be getting the first official look of Stu Macher, first some more Sydney and Gale, and then first glimpse of Anna Camp and the new supporting cast. And he also said, I was told December a while ago, so this lines up. So again, originally we were supposed to get the surprise of Stu Macher in the trailer, right? Matthew Lillard said that himself. He said that originally the plan was that they were going to have that first trailer and you were going to see Matthew Lillard in that trailer, but then it kind of got leaked and word got out, so then they just made the official announcement, right? And then we were even talking about it on the Lethal, and Jake and Knight were like, oh, so we should see. And I was like, well, will we? Right? Like, because again, Matthew Lillard said the original plan. So plans obviously changed because they made the official announcement, and then we got the Scream trailer, and lo and behold, Stu wasn't in it. You got to hear his voice, you got to hear Dewey's voice, but you didn't actually get to see Matthew Lillard in some capacity. I'm curious if it'll be like Jude posted these images. I don't think they're necessarily images from the trailer or anything like that. I'm curious if it will be something where Matthew Lillard, you get to see him like in the phone, right? Like, Sydney's holding the phone and it's Matthew Lillard talking or Stu Macher talking, or if it'll be something where, I could see something where like it's kind of zoomed in, zoomed up, so you just see Matthew Lillard talk. So think of the golden, the chrome ghost face mask, right? Where they made it seem like that was actually a scene from the movie, and ultimately it actually was a scene from a quick glance at Stab, right? Like I could see something like that to where they make it seem like Stu's there and talking and all that stuff, but really it's just when we actually see the movie, it's Sydney talking to him on the phone type thing. I could see something like that. But it does make sense that you would have Matthew Lillard in this trailer at some capacity, right? Obviously depends on how many scenes he's in, how many moments he's in. Like you don't want like the only scene he's in to, be in the trailer, because then that kind of ruins things. So my guess is that if they show something, he's supposed to be in it, like, or at least his presence supposed to be in it pretty heavily. So we'll kind of see in that regard. As far as like Anna Camp and the other characters, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we didn't get really any other. You got a quick glance at several, but be nice to kind of get, I don't want like, because a lot of these characters are probably only going to be in the film for, a handful of minutes, if that. So obviously I don't want anything spoilerish, but it'd be nice to kind of get some glances at some characters, particularly Anna Camp, who's supposed to play a big role in this upcoming film. And then of course, Gale and Sydney. I really hope that they do a good job with their kind of dynamic, right? Like that's one of the things that I felt was they kind of like tried to set up in Scream 5, like through the trailers and everything like that. Like, Sydney and Gale, you're going to have the girl power, the two final girls, badass taking down Ghostface. And I just felt like it was kind of lackluster. It kind of felt rushed. It was at like the very end. And, I'm hoping that this time we kind of get these two sort of camps and, we get a lot of like Gale and Sydney and their kind of dynamic and kind of grow their characters and build their characters and so on and so forth. Because I just, they're the final girls. Gale's been in more Scream movies than Sydney at this point, right? She's been in every single one of them. So, I want them to do better by these two. Scream 5, I felt like Sydney being in it kind of was pointless. Obviously, I'm not going to complain about having Sydney in a Scream movie, but like it's just kind of felt pointless. And then same thing with Gale in Scream 6. Again, I kind of feels pointless. So hopefully they do better and do right by these characters going forward. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear it out of the way. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.